You know, when you think about the deep ocean, you picture total blackness, right?
Yeah.
But it's actually, well, it's surprisingly full of light.
That's right. Not sunlight, of course. That vanishes pretty quickly as you go down.
Right. But this is a different kind of light, isn't it? Light produced by life itself.
Exactly. And that's what we're really diving into today, this truly fascinating world of bioluminescence in the ocean, just for you.
It's amazing just how common it is down there.
It really is.
Yeah.
Bioluminescence, essentially, it's just light made by a living thing through a chemical reaction. Think of it like nature's own glow stick, maybe. Self-powered.
Okay, a living glow stick. I like that. And the name itself gives it away, doesn't it? Bios for life, lumen for light.
Precisely. Life light.
And it's important to remember this isn't like those glow-in-the-dark stars we had as kids. Phosphorescence.
Right, or fluorescence, like a highlighter marker that needs UV light.
Yeah.
Bioluminescence doesn't need any outside light to get it started. It makes its own.
It's all internal. You don't need to, like, snap it to get it going.
Exactly. It's an active chemical process inside the organism.
And we see it on land, obviously, with fireflies, glowworms.
Sure, but the ocean is just... it's on a completely different scale. It's incredibly common down there.
Especially in certain zones.
Yes, particularly the pelagic zone. That's the sort of mid-water area, say between 200 and 1,000 meters deep.
Okay.
Estimates are, well, somewhere around 76 to 80% of the animals in that water column are bioluminescent.
80%.
Yeah.
That's staggering. It really shows how life adapts to its environment, doesn't it? A key survival tool.
Absolutely. Natural selection in action. The pelagic zone, just to clarify for everyone, is that open ocean water, away from the coast, away from the seabed.
Got it. A big, dark, three-dimensional space.
And bioluminescence is a perfect tool for that kind of environment.
So who are the main light producers down there? Who's putting on the show?
Well, the most common ones are probably fish, squid, and also those gelatinous zooplankton.
You mean like jellyfish?
Jellyfish, yeah, and things like siphonophores, comb jellies. They're really dominant light producers in the deep.
And it's not just for show, obviously. There's a real purpose.
Definitely. It gives them a huge survival advantage in the dark. We're talking finding food, finding mates.
Defense, too.
Defense, absolutely. It's like a built-in superpower.
Okay, so let's get into that superpower. How does it actually work, the chemistry behind it?
It's actually quite elegant, chemically speaking.
Yeah.
You basically have a light-emitting molecule called luciferin
Luciferin.
and an enzyme called luciferase. When luciferin reacts with luciferase, and you need oxygen present too,
Right.
that reaction releases energy,
Yeah.
and that energy comes out as light. It's remarkably efficient.
Luciferin. It sounds almost like a fuel that gets used up.
In a way, yes. People sometimes describe it as being used up like batteries. The organism needs a supply of it.
And they can control it, right? Turn it on and off.
That's key. It's an active process.
Mm.
Unlike, say, fluorescence, which is passive, it glows when light hits it. Bioluminescence can be switched on and off.
So where do they get this luciferin? Do they all make it themselves?
Ah, that's interesting. Some do, yes, but others actually rely on symbiotic relationships.
With bacteria?
Exactly, with bioluminescent bacteria.
Yeah.
They host these bacteria in special light organs. The bacteria make the light, the host gives them a safe place to live and food.
Wow, like having tiny living light bulbs inside you. You mentioned photobacterium.
Yes, Photobacterium leonanthe is a common one. They glow constantly when they have enough oxygen and are dense enough.
And the light itself, it's usually blue or green. Is there a reason for that specific coloring?
Oh, absolutely. It's all about physics in water. Blue and green light travel the furthest underwater.
Okay.
Water filters out other colors. Red disappears first, then orange, yellow. Blue and violet penetrate the deepest, so making blue-green light means it's visible over the longest distance. It makes sense, right?
Yeah, maximum reach. But you mentioned some rarer colors.
Yes. Occasionally you see red or even yellow. There's a thing called the gossamer worm that makes this amazing golden sparkle.
Golden. Why yellow?
That's one of the mysteries. We don't really know why it uses yellow when blue-green seems more efficient. And then there's the stoplight loosejaw.
The dragonfish. That makes red light.
That's the one. It makes red light, which is highly unusual in the deep sea.
Red light. Given what you said about blue traveling furthest, that sounds counterintuitive. Does it give it some special advantage?
It does. Let's talk about those advantages, the why of making light. Attracting prey is a big one.
Like the anglerfish, the classic example.
Exactly. That glowing lure, the esca dangling in front of its mouth, that's packed with those photobacterium bacteria we mentioned.
The living bait. I remember that from Finding Nemo.
Ah, yes. It's perfectly designed to lure smaller fish right into striking distance. And it probably helps attract mates, too, in that vast darkness.
A multi-purpose lure. Any other light-up hunting tricks?
Oh, yeah. Some squid have glowing tips on their tentacles they dangle down. Siphonophores, those long, jelly-like animals, also use bioluminescent lures.
It's pretty ingenious, using light as bait.
Very effective when finding food is tough.
But it's not just about catching dinner. You mentioned defense.
Absolutely. Defense is huge.
Yeah.
Take the vampire squid. It's not actually a squid, but when it's threatened, it can turn itself sort of inside out.
Whoa.
But it also releases this sticky cloud of glowing mucus.
Glowing mucus, what does that do?
It startles the predator, maybe blinds it for a second, confuses it, gives the squid time to escape. Plus, now the predator is covered in this glowing stuff.
Making it a target for something bigger.
Exactly. It's a brilliant distraction and defense.
A glowing getaway cloud. That's amazing. Any other defensive lights?
Well, there's the red crown jelly. It has this burglar alarm display.
Oh, the burglar alarms.
Yeah. If something small like a shrimp starts nibbling on it, the jelly lets off this big, bright pinwheel flash of light.
Why?
The idea is that the flash attracts a larger predator, like a fish or a bigger squid, that might then eat the shrimp that was bothering the jelly.
Using light to call for backup, that's incredibly clever.
Isn't it? And then you have those bioluminescent smoke screens, too.
Right, you mentioned that.
Some squid, some worms, they just release a cloud of sparkles, basically. Distracts the predator while they jet off.
A biological flashbang.
Kinda. And some can even detach glowing body parts, leave a luminous decoy behind for the predator to chase.
Sacrificing a part to save the whole. Wow. Okay, so hunting, defense, what else? Communication.
Definitely communication. In that huge dark space, light is a really efficient way to send a signal, especially for finding a mate.
Flashing patterns to say, I'm available.
Something like that, yes. Specific flashes could signal species, sex, readiness to mate, like little Morse code messages in light.
Underwater dating profiles.
Huh. You could put it that way. And then there's counter-illumination. That's fascinating.
Counter-illumination, how does that work?
Okay, so imagine you're a fish swimming in that mid-water zone. There's still a tiny bit of faint light filtering down from the surface, right?
Okay, yeah. Very faint.
So if a predator's looking up from below, it might see your dark silhouette against that faint surface light.
I see where this is going.
Right. So creatures like lanternfish, some squid, they have light organs on their undersides, their bellies, and they emit a faint glow that matches the downwelling light.
So they blend in?
Exactly. It breaks up their silhouette, makes them effectively invisible to predators hunting from below, using light to hide.
An invisibility cloak made of light. That's brilliant. And the red light? Back to the stoplight loose jaw, seeing in the dark.
Yes, that's its trick. It has red light organs under its eyes. Most deep-sea animals can only see blue light. They're basically blind to red.
So the dragonfish can shine a red light.
That acts like a secret spotlight. It illuminates prey, often red-colored prey like shrimp, that other predators can't see. And the prey can't see the spotlight either.
A huge advantage. How can it see the red light?
That's maybe the most amazing part. It uses chlorophyll pigments in its eyes.
Yeah.
Yes, chlorophyll, like plants use for photosynthesis. It's the only animal known to do this, to modify chlorophyll to see red light.
Nature is just unbelievable sometimes. So it's clear this is everywhere in the ocean. Just how diverse is this luminous life?
Oh, the diversity is incredible. We've touched on fish, squid, jellyfish, but also some corals glow, lots of different marine worms, the comb jellies or contenophores.
Sea stars too.
Some sea stars, yes. Certain crustaceans, like some shrimps, and then down to the microscopic level, those dinoflagellates.
The ones making the surface sparkle.
That's them. They're often responsible for that beautiful light you see in a boat's wake or when you disturb the water at night.
And what about pyrosomes? You mentioned them.
Pyrosomes. They're amazing. They're colonial tunicates, basically forming these long, hollow, gelatinous tubes, sometimes huge ones.
And they glow.
They produce this brilliant, sustained blue-green light. They could be incredibly bright. And they seem to luminesce in response to light, too, like a chain reaction down the colony.
A living light tube that reacts to light. Wow. And the light patterns themselves vary a lot, too.
Oh, hugely. You get quick, short flashes from tiny copepods. You get those clouds we mentioned from jellies or worms. Some sea cucumbers have these amazing swirling or circular patterns.
Underwater fireworks.
Pretty much. And honestly, we've probably only seen a fraction of the patterns out there. There are bound to be many more we haven't even discovered yet.
It really makes you wonder what else is happening down there that we just can't see. And we talked about organisms making their own light, but the bacteria play a huge role too, right? In symbiosis.
A massive role. Those bacteria, like photobacterium, they glow continuously as long as conditions are right, enough oxygen, enough density.
Where do you find them?
They can be free living in the water, or attached to particles, marine snow, or even living inside the guts of some fish. And then, of course, there's the symbiosis, like in the anglerfish lure.
So it's a mix. Some animals make their own light using special cells called photophores,
Right.
and others basically borrow the light from bacteria.
That's a good way to put it. Self-luminescence versus bacterial symbiosis. Two main strategies.
So with all this study, centuries even, do we actually fully understand why and how this all works now?
That's the really intriguing part. Despite all we know, there are still some really fundamental questions.
Like,
Well, in many cases, we still don't know. The main reason an organism is bioluminescent. We see the light, but pinning down its primary function can be tricky.
even with all the examples like lures and defense.
Even so, and the whole evolutionary story. Why is it so common in the ocean, but so rare in fresh water, or on land comparatively? What drove its evolution so many separate times?
We don't know.
Not completely. And the actual chemistry? We know the basics, luciferin and luciferase, but the specific molecules involved in many organisms, especially some worms and many fish, are still unknown. The recipes vary.
And I guess just studying them must be incredibly difficult down there.
Hugely difficult. They live in the dark. Many are sensitive to the lights on our subs. They can be gelatinous, transparent, hard to see, hard to catch without damaging them.
Trying to study a secret society that lives in the dark and avoids spotlights.
That's a pretty good analogy. And we see differences too. Like that 76% estimate is for the pelagic open water animals.
Right.
But down on the seafloor, the benthic organisms, it's maybe more like 30 to 40%.
Why the difference?
Probably different needs. In the open water, light travels. It's good for communication over distance. On the seafloor, there are rocks, places to hide. Maybe light isn't always the best tool, or it's used differently. Environment matters.
Makes sense. And that gossamer worm with the golden sparkle, that's still a puzzle.
Still a total puzzle. Why yellow?
Huh.
We just don't know. It's a great reminder of how much is still out there to discover.
It is incredible to think about this whole world of light existing where we imagine only darkness. And this amazing ability is actually inspiring human technology too.
Oh, definitely. Bioluminescence is a huge inspiration, especially in medicine and research, because it makes light without needing an external source, right? So scientists can use the genes for luciferin and luciferase, put them into cells or bacteria, and use that light to track things, like watch cancer cells grow in real time inside a mouse or see if a drug is working. It's used in imaging, creating probes for detecting specific molecules. It's a really valuable
because it
tool.
lights up from within.
Exactly. You don't need to shine a light on it. It tells you where it is by glowing itself. Allows us to see biological processes we couldn't see before.
So this deep sea light show isn't just fascinating, it's actually helping us solve problems up here.
It really is. The more we learn about these amazing adaptations, the more ideas we get for our own innovations.
It is just mind-bending, really, that the deep ocean, which we think of as completely dark, is actually alive with light. It's such a testament to adaptation, to evolution.
It truly is. And as we've talked about, even though we've learned so much, there are still so many secrets down there. So much more to explore and figure out.
Which leaves a pretty cool thought for you, listening.
Yeah.
Think about that. This massive light show happening constantly in the parts of our planet we rarely see. What other wonders are hidden in that darkness?
Yeah, and could understanding bioluminescence even better lead to more breakthroughs, maybe beyond medicine? It's definitely something to ponder.
Absolutely. So maybe the next time you see a firefly blink on a summer evening, just take a second. And remember, it's deep-sea cousins putting on this incredibly diverse, mysterious, and vital light show in the dark ocean depths. It's just one of the amazing facets of life on Earth.